Hello everyone, my name is Joe and I'm going to be going over the Module 9 homework. For the first portion of the homework, it asks us to create a form that asks for a username and password, which we have up here. And for the username, we have a minimum of 8 characters and the password we have a minimum of 12. So if we were to input just one character into each, we would get it asking us to get up to 8 characters. So once we do that, it asks us for the password to get up to 12 as well. There's no requirement on that form for it to be anything specific to text or numbers, anything along those sorts. But then the second portion of the homework asks us to create a form to represent a survey, first name, last name, 2 addresses, city, state, zip code, and 3 questions. First name through zip code is all required, whereas the 3 questions below are not. And it does validate that only text is entered as well. So if we were to just put a 1 in there, it will ask for alphabet characters only. That also applies to last name. So if we insert just a few letters here, and then we have address 1, which has a background of pink whenever there's no text in it. Once you add text in it, it does change back to the white. City, just like first name and last name, is required and validates that only text is entered. And then the state, once we put some text in there, it will require 2 capitalized alphabetical characters only. So we go ahead and put our state in there. And then for the zip code, we have it being required with a max value of 5. So if we put more in there, it would pop up that alphabetical characters are only, but it also requires just 5 of them. And then for questions 1 through 3, it does have the same background color of yellow. Once you input something into that, it'll change. These 3 are not required, so the form would be able to submit without them being finished, and then it would set us back to the beginning. Taking a look at the code for this, pretty basic in terms of what we're laying out in HTML. I do have a form created here for the username and password with the minimum length set for both of them, as well as a submit button. And then in a separate form is where I did the survey, where I have the first name, last name, etc. I do have them being marked as required for the ones that are, as well as having the required pattern for the text, so there's no numbers or symbols inputted. It would also give us our title if there was an issue of what the issue would be to be able to match it. For the ones with the background color, I do just have them set to a default style of pink, and then once there is input, it would change back to the default white, and the same would apply down here to the questions for yellow. And outside of that, pretty basic. Whenever it came down to like the state where we had 2 capital letters and a minimum of 2, we were able to put our 2 in brackets alongside that, as well as make sure it's only capital for the state abbreviations. For the zip code, since we're using letters for it and not numbers, we have that as well, that is able to accept capital or lowercase with a maximum of 5.